Throwdown presents MMA Platinum Gloves 9. Play draft-style fantasy boxing for real cash at throwdownfantasy.com. Tonight's fights are sanctioned by Kick International. Sanctioned rep in attendance is Jackie Corleone. This heavyweight fight is brought to you by Oso Machina, CrossFit Clearview, Big Z Beverages, Made to Thrive, and KTFO. And now, set for three 3-minute rounds, introducing the red corner. Standing 6 feet 2 inches, weighing in at 228 pounds. He brings an amateur record of 1 win, no losses. Fighting out of Vamos, BJJ, Brett Sanchez. Across the cage, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. Standing 6 feet 3 inches, weighing in at 253 pounds. He brings an amateur record of 2 wins, no losses. Fighting out of Tap House MMA, Diaz. Referee in charge of the action is Eddie Claudio.
Between the ring walk and the actions there before the fight there from Sanchez, he's fought about 3 rounds already.
I've actually heard that fighters with very elaborate entrance walk-in, actually it takes a lot out of them and possibly could aid to tiring them out. Diaz leads with a side kick.
Diaz in the camouflage, Sanchez in the white shorts, scheduled for 3 rounds in the heavyweight division, the big boys. It would be an understatement if you didn't say that Brett Sanchez is alert there. And what a big knee landed there by Sanchez. Sanchez, the lighter fighter, going to try to use his athleticism here. But, ooh, Diaz got a nice little cut there over his right eye.
Yeah, do you know if the knee landed up there or did the knee land in the chest? I couldn't really tell from my angle, Dan.
He had 2, I'm pretty sure it was that right. Now that he lands another one, to refresh my memory, it was a right hand that opened up a cut there.
Sanchez does a very good job picking opponents apart from the outside. Diaz is going for the single leg now, using a lot of energy. He's got a little blood coming out of his right eye, but it doesn't look like it's swelling at all yet.
We have a full doctor staff here on call at all times here at the MMA Platinum Gloves, in compliance with all the rules and regulations here.
What Dan Diaz needs to do is he needs to get both his hands clasped behind both of Brett Sanchez's legs if he wants to finish that takedown. You just can't grab behind the knees and expect somebody that's as skilled as Sanchez to go over. It's just not going to happen.
Diaz, like I said, the bigger man, going to want to impose that will on Sanchez. Sanchez going for a...
looks like he has a decent guillotine.
Takedown there from Diaz. Fight moves to the ground, which you want to believe it benefits Diaz.
Although Sanchez does train with a pretty big jiu-jitsu team over at Vamos Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, led by brothers Christopher and Alex Vamos. I mean, I'm willing to assume he's well-versed on the ground as well.
Let's see. 50 seconds remain here, round number 1. Interesting first round here. Big blows land. They've got a cut over the right eye of Dan Diaz that you're going to want to keep an eye on, part of the pun there, over the next 2 rounds if it shall go the distance.
Yeah, Sanchez did a good job picking Diaz apart early, but Diaz was able to get in and score that takedown and now work a little bit of ground and pound from the top.
Closing in on the end of round number 1.
Now with these bigger fighters, stamina is always an issue. I mean, big men, they take more blood and more oxygen to get their bodies going. So this may come down to who's the fresher fighter in round 2, Dan.
With that, we move to round number 2. All right, we're getting ready for round number 2 here. Scheduled for 3 rounds. The big boys, the heavyweights, Dan Diaz, Brett Sanchez. Crash into the fence.
Yeah, Sanchez led off with that teep. It was grabbed by Diaz and pushed him back into the fence and secured that takedown.
If you want to test the durability of this octagon, these two guys are the right for the job.
I'm glad we have a real strong cage here, Dan, because if we didn't, I think they'd be both sitting in our laps.
No thanks.
Yeah, I'm not too into having some big, hairy, sweaty, 500 pounds of man sit on my lap tonight.
No thanks. No thank you.
It's not that kind of party.
Round number 2 begins how round number 1 ended, and that's with Diaz on top. Not really getting a lot of effective striking in there as he's on top, more smothering.
Well, Sanchez is doing a really good job of tying his arms up and holding him down, which is really what you want to do. Not let your opponent get to a position where he can drop bombs on you. You don't want to let him posture up. You don't want Diaz to posture up. Anytime you have a heavyweight on top of you, you can't let them posture up and punch you. Sanchez looks like he's trying to work into the middle of the octagon, away from the cage.
90 seconds remain here, round number 2. Dan Diaz doing everything he can to neutralize the effective striking and the stand-up game of Brett Sanchez.
Diaz passes the guard briefly, gets to a half guard, but now Sanchez is able to regain that full guard again. Sanchez is scooting away, and Diaz is trying to keep that pressure on him, trying to stay on top of him, to not let him give him that space to get up.
Yeah, Diaz doing just enough to warrant the position that he's in. Eddie Collier getting a good look in there. You know, he is smothering, but every once in a while he'll land a quick right and a quick left. And that's all you got to do when you're on top. You got to work towards a finish, correct?
I mean, he's controlling. He's sitting in Sanchez's guard. He'll try to pass. Here he goes. He tries to pass again, but I mean, with these heavyweights, you're only so mobile. And Sanchez, he has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. He does a very good job at regaining the guard anytime Diaz has an attempt to pass.
20 seconds remain, round number 2. The heavyweights, Dan Diaz, Brett Sanchez. Fight's taking a turn in Diaz's favor, just off of him being on top there. It's where he's been the second round. It's where he ended the first round. We're going to move on to round number 3. Interesting fight here, heating up here at the MMA Platinum Gloves.
Yeah, that cut is directly under the eye. I mean,
big right hand lands by Sanchez. Follows it up with a slew of more. Could this be enough? Could we see the end of this fight here? Diaz putting his hands up, Sanchez trying to fight through the guard.
This is what Sanchez has to do now.
Exactly.
He definitely lost the second round.
Diaz got nothing left. He's going down to the ground. He's pouncing on him. Eddie Claudio, you can stop this whenever you need. Stop the fight there. It's all over. Brett Sanchez is your winner. Third round TKO.
Declaring our winner by TKO, Brett Sanchez.
And I'm here with our winner, Brett Sanchez. Stunning third round comeback. Beautiful TKO victory. You were in a little bit of trouble in that second round. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, you know, Dan, he's a heavy guy. He's good, he's aggressive. He took me down. I was just trying to hold position with him in my guard. And, you know, I knew I could out-condition him, and I was a better striker, so kind of wanted to wait it out so I was back on my feet and, you know, give it to him.
Now, what did your corner tell you between that second and third round? What were the instructions that they gave to you?
Basically, you know, my professor, Kyle Watkins, one of the best trainers in New York, he told me, listen, dude, you got to knock him out. You have better striking, so, you know, that's how I like to finish my fights. I don't like to leave it to decision, and that's exactly what I did. Thank you.
Is there anyone you want to thank, Brett?
Absolutely. Vamos, BJJ, Professor Alex and Chris Vamos, Coach James, Coach Kyle Watkins. I want to thank my girlfriend, Tony, MJ, Maddie C, Tom Nick, all you guys, Marcus, all you other guys from Vamos BJJ, thank you guys so much for coming out. And thank you all veterans who served, making this a great country. Thank you so much.
Everyone give it up for Brett Sanchez!